Why were you stop and searched?
Oh, so this is the first time it's not, it's the second time, but it's the first time where I've been outside it and I've been stopped by the police. So I'd been at my nephew's. They were about 10 o'clock.
At night?
Yeah.
Dark or light?
Wait, about 9:30 because it was still light. And there's this area and it's called the Black Path and it just goes on. And basically you can go from where I live straight into town. So I leave my nephew's and I go on this path and I fly around the corner to go on this straight and I see the two coppers walking. So I'll keep riding and then
Riding?
I'm on pedal bike, I'm on push bike.
Got a bag?
Nope, just push bike, that jacket on, and I'm just riding. So he slowed down, I thought it may pull me with the lights or... So he says, right, we're doing an operation in this area, we're doing stops and searches. People use this to move drugs and motorbikes with no lights on, blah, blah, blah. Name, so I'll give him my surname. First name, and I don't know why, it's never happened in my life. When he said first name and I give it, I got really out of breath. Not like I've been really riding, like my breathing went. So this copper said, you're out of breath, are you all right? And I said, wait, like. So he's like, right, are you known to us? Have you ever been, you ever been in trouble? I said, yeah. I said, but about 15 years ago. So this other copper's doing a thing on his phone. It's like mobile.
15 years?
That was last time that's when on this offence. So I said, yeah, about 15 years ago, last time I got arrested. And when I said that, the guy on the phone went, just over 14, because he's checking my details. And when he said that, just over 14, I said, there you go, and you're like, go on your way, you're good. And they let me go. But it were the fear, I had fear. Like the nerves, like it was, I can't explain it.
What do you think about stop and search? This is just your view. For me,
yeah.
For me,
yeah.
Knife crime.
I think it's good. I think quite weird. My views on police have changed as well. I think at the minute they should, stop and searches are good.
Okay, so who are you?
So, sure.
Well, how do we know each other?
It's been a few years now, hasn't it?
A good few years.
Reach out to you to do the podcast.
To do your life story.
Yeah.
So we're just going to cover it very briefly. 3 prison sentences.
Mm-hmm.
All related.
Apart from last one, but it was still related in some way. Yeah.
To an incident happened when you were a young lad.
Yeah.
Without going into it in too much detail, you woke up in a mate's house, just very briefly.
Yeah.
Waking up, you were woozy, something has gone off.
No trousers, I were in pain from obviously a certain area. No, you caught me that one.
No.
No, it's right. I want to keep going. I would. So obviously, for people, it is on your episode, my full life. But for a brief thing, so I got out the house. Cut a long story short, I was never going to see this person again. We didn't go to the police because it's just not what we did in our family back then, and it weren't. It'd be dealt with. It's going to be dealt with, but we don't get police involved. You're never going to have to see that person again, and it was never spoke about again. I'm laughing because I think how mental it is now. From that time, I used to be a really laid-back guy. People could... And
how old were you?
I was 12. I were a couple of weeks before I turned 13. But even as a kid, I weren't cheeky. I was calm.
Well-mannered.
Very well-mannered.
Brought up well.
Yeah, my dad was strict. Everything. Even now, my manners is still there.
Respect your elders.
Without a doubt. See the next door neighbour, she used to walk up, Kit. Loved her to bits. She was like my nan, and we'd see her. Me and my brother were only tiny, and we'd run down, grab her shopping bags, and we'd walk them back up. But when that happened, I became more
isolated.
Introvert. Yeah, more isolated. I had all this stuff going on in my head. It was, why? Why me? Am I gay? Does that mean I might like boys? You have all this stuff as a kid. You don't understand it. What did I do wrong? So, and everything went there. I went more introvert. I was more snappy. If anyone said anything in school, I'd just fly into them because I had all this stuff in my head and I didn't understand it as a kid.
Your first 2 prison sentences were related about this incident and you wanting to exact revenge, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So you did 1 sentence, come back out.
Yeah.
But basically you wanted to harm this guy. He'd done damage to you and you want to damage him.
So while I was on the first sentence, the judge straight away, I'd never been in trouble. I had a good security job, really good security job. Ironically, one of them were Calderstones Psychiatric Hospital. Never been in trouble. I'd come out the shop, I got ready for work one night. I come out the shop at the bottom of the street. I've been and bought some fags. And as I come out, I seen someone. And I said, have you seen so-and-so? Because this lad had got out with young offenders. He had no money. And I'd seen him at that shop. So Taz, who owned the shop, had a flat above that were unused. So I said, can we use one of the rooms? I know your stock's in the other, but can we, just for him to stay a couple of weeks, give him a bit of money, give Taz 20, 30 quid more and said, that's if he needs out, don't let him buy alcohol. And I give the lad a couple of quid and said, when you're on your feet, just sort me out. And I'd never been in trouble, but it was something I was supposed to do. So I come out the shop this night, got ready, and I bumped into this lad. And I said, oh, have you seen so-and-so? Yeah, you know, I'm looking for him, like. I didn't know if he'd been recalled or... And it wasn't a matter of I want money. It was, have you seen so-and-so, though? And he said,
You're concerned about him?
Yeah. And I said, have you seen so-and-so? And he went, yeah, he's living at... And he gave this person's name. And I just felt the blood.
And this is the
guy who I was never going to see again. So I walked... So I left Daddy, even so I just carried on, walked up home, went into the house, went into the kitchen, got a can, went in the living room, sat down, opened it, took a couple of swigs, and thought, this is it. So got myself a couple of knives and went to get him.
Is this why you got your second sentence?
That's the first one. So while I'm in on that, the judge, right, you know, let these people understand. Morning.
Yeah, you're right, love.
So the judge was like, this is serious. You've never been in trouble. You've done something like this. I have to send you away. If you come in front of me again for another serious offence, you're going for a long, long time.
Yep. 2 strikes.
And I get it, because they were like, never been in trouble. And I do something, you know, trying to kidnap.
And you won't speak up, would you?
No, trying to kidnap him. While I was on remand, we had Manchester police coming to see me. And they were saying, look, we know who this person is. We know why you've done what you've done. And we know there's other people. Nobody can do anything until someone speaks. Nobody will speak. And I flat out refused. You know, because 1, I'm going to get my own revenge. 2, and this was the first time I'd been in, see how easy they had it. They're on the VPs, they had the cushy jobs, they're safe. I don't want him to be safe, so I'm not speaking. Just before I were in a
jail, prison wouldn't have been good enough for you, for him.
No, too easy, isn't it? He's going to get a cushy life. So I've been just speaking down a bit because the young lad behind us. So probation came to see me 2 weeks before. I were in an open young offenders phone cross in Warrington. Probation, phone man with probation officer, blah, blah, blah. I've never seen anybody, no probation. I said to him, you need to move him out of that town, or you need to move me as far away as you can. They're the only 2 options. And he turned around and said, we can't do anything until you do something. I was already in for going after him. So, not a problem. So I got out. First week, find where he were. Second week,
Went after him.
Yeah. So I got my second sentence then.
Again, you were given opportunity to speak out.
The judge on sentencing, while they were going to court, he'd retired with this Judge Bennett from the first one. And there was this Beverly Long. She was the one when I was going up remanding me, all these different court cases before sentence. On the day of the sentence, when the group 4 had taken me up, I said, oh, is it Judge Long? Judge Bennett is back out. And I went, he's retired, back out of retirement. Yeah, so the judge had said, I know why you're doing what you're doing.
Yep.
But you're taking the law into your own hands, so I have to give you a severe sentence.
Yep.
And I'm hoping while you're on this sentence, you're going to talk about what's going on and you're going to get the necessary help you need. So you give me 3 year, 10 months, but I had to do 12-month license.
Is that the second sentence?
Yeah, so I had to do 12 months from my remaining license from the first sentence because I'd committed a crime while on license. Then I started my 310. So I did that again. Police came to see me, told them the same.
Get him out of town or get me out of town.
But now it changed that, and this is one of the reasons to give me IPP. I then said, all right, I'm going to keep going after him. Do you know, and I've openly said it. So I'm not saying anything here that no one knew. And I told him, I am going to get him. I'm going to get my own revenge and I'll give him the right punishment because yeah, I had a lot of people saying, I'm just going off track, but people, when I went back in and people were saying, why didn't you wear a balaclava? His sons were in the house, you fought with his sons. Why not wear a bally and do it more? Why? Because the outcome's going to be the same. He's going to die, and he's going to die very painfully. And I said, I wanted him to look in my eyes, and I want to see that same fear. Because even now, if I think about him, as much as I've got this anger, there's still a bit of fear. And it's strange because there is nothing, well, he can't now, he's dead, but there was nothing he could do to me, but I still had fear of him.
You come out,
Yeah.
second sentence.
Yeah.
How long before you went back after him?
Well, after the second sentence, I didn't get him. So I got out, got into a relationship, fell in love. The first woman I'd ever that I loved, that I actually fell in love. And I never believed I was supposed to be happy, be settled. And now all of a sudden I've got this beautiful woman that I'm like, she's way out my league. Then she got pregnant. I was in work. Everything, I was like, wow, finally. And then the relationship started to break down. And she had a miscarriage. And that day she miscarried. And that's not an excuse for it. So what I used to do is, I lost my job and I started doing dodgy stuff, selling drugs, what have you, for one of my cousins. So every day I used to have to go around for one of my other cousins' dad, because he'd done 20 odd years of jail. He was an addict for most of his life. To stop him committing crime, I used to go around every morning, give him his bit, his breakfast as we call it, and they won't go out committing crime. So this morning, she'd had a miscarriage the night before. I went round, gave him his thing, I went to the toilet, come back down, and as I walked in the living room, there's a certain smell, and it hit me. And it was the same smell that I used the night I got told my brother had been murdered, and I've never touched heroin in my life. And I slept like a baby that night, like I'd just been wrapped up. As soon as I walked in the living room, it was like, I know it's going to take this pain away. So I started using there, and gradually I was doing really, really stupid.
Did he come back into your thoughts then?
Not really, no. I had a lot of fucked up shit, like my brother, he'd been murdered while I was in, and I just put it in the box because my life was going okay, and then it started slipping, and then I was doing crazier things and
Violent?
yeah,
violent.
yeah, there were a lot of stuff around the drug thing that. So my uncle had said to me, you need to go away for a bit because you're going to end up killing someone or you're going to end up dead. They're the only two options. Because where you're going. So I went over to Blackpool. I was fucked. So I ended up in a psychiatric unit. Got out of there, and then I got my last sentence there. Well, so I come out of the hospital, and I was looking around at people, and you can see yourself in psychic, when you see people you can see there's something wrong with them, whether they're smashing their head off a wall or the floor, or you can see a lot of people's problems. So I'm looking around all these people at Parkwood, it's called, in Blackpool. I'm looking around at all these people thinking, shouldn't fucking be.
You're not the same as them.
I shouldn't be here. So good old tactic of a con, or there's a drug user went in to do this board with all these doctors and psychiatrists, and I fucking fooled them. I blagged them. I'm all right. I needed a bit of rest. Everything's fine. I'm wasting resources here. Because what they said to me was, I'd got picked up by the police. I was gone. I had a break. I was gone. No. So I got picked up by the police. They took me to the hospital. This mental health nurse come down, spoke to me and said, "You're either going to put yourself in voluntary, which is 3 months, minimum 3 months, or I'm going to get a section. That's at least 6 months." She said, "But then the doctor has to keep going to court. That doctor, you'll be in for a lot longer, because the doctor will not just get, yeah, all right, go.
Can't get out, can you?
In trouble.
They have to sign you off. They have to be satisfied. You're not going to hurt anyone.
No." So I went in on a voluntary. So when I did my 3 month thing, I went in, sold it, they let me go. I then went to my pal's flat. A couple of days later, I rung this community nurse that they give me this number. She's going to be in there, whatever. So I rung her and I said, "I'm not right. I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have got myself discharged. I'm not right. I need help." She said, "There's nothing I can do. I have to make another appointment in how many weeks and see it." And I'm like, so I fobbed her off. I didn't want to be around family. I wanted to be left alone, and it was a Christmas period. So my friend said, "Stay at my flat. I'm going down to South Wales. Go as you please. You've got your own escape." So I went out, bought a load of drugs, bought a load of spirits and cans and what have you. And for 2 weeks, up to the 3rd of Jan, so the 2 weeks up to there, I sat in this flat, using, drinking, not eating. I had no communication with anyone. And all that were in my head all that were in my head was all these different people that had done me wrong. My abuser, the person that murdered my brother, people that left my brother. And I thought, right, and I went into this dark place, and I never want to go there again. It was, you can't explain it. When I'm not in that mindset now, it's hard to explain to someone what we're going through. But it was black, it was dark, and I decided I'm going to go
hit list.
That's exactly what it was.
Was he at the top?
Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah.
So you went after him?
No. So what had happened was, I went out that morning, I bought some knives, gaffer tape, balaclava. I don't know why, but I bought this balaclava thing. It weren't like a normal one, it was like a face, but you could see. Don't know why. Bought them, went back to my friend's flat, and he was coming home that day. And this mate, it's horrible. I don't like talking about this, but I have to talk about what happened. So around tea time, he was supposed to be back, he wasn't back, so I rung him. I'm going to be a couple of hours, so, right. And each hour that passed, I'm getting more and more built up, because I know what I'm going to do, but I'm getting angry now, because my plan's going to fuck up again. Can't get anything right, can't keep a job, can't keep a relationship. It was all pity, poor fucking me sort of attitude. Oh, this is going to mess up. I need to get a train from Blackpool to Accrington and blah, and it getting later and later and later. So it was about 11 o'clock-ish, I think. He's ringing the bell, so I come out. There's like different flats in this building. I go down, open the door. I let him in. I've got everything in my jacket, ready to go. And to him, it was like, and it weird because he just spent Christmas with his family. But in that moment, he come bouncing in, and I thought, fuck, you don't even realise what, do you know what I mean? I need to go. And he's like, "Oh, have you had a good Christmas?" Mine's been fucking amazing. And just him saying that, we're like, snap. I've just been through all this. I just put and you know what I mean? And he didn't deserve it. He did not deserve what I did to him. But it wasn't him. When that frenzy come, and I pulled out that knife, and I got hold of him, it wasn't him. It wasn't his face. Do you know, it was different people, especially this one. And it was just all this anger that I'd built up. The only way I can explain it is a pressure. You know, you got pressure cooker, and you put your pan on, and then it starts whistling when it all builds up. That's what it was like. Like all this pressure had built inside me, and as soon as that moment of snap, it were all coming out. There was no stopping it. So after I'd stabbed him multiple times and I thought he was dead, I sat down and I thought, shit, all this anger's gone. Do you know, it's like, oh no, look what I've done. Look what I've done. If I go through my phone, who do I ring? I know I'm going to get done for this.
On your toes.
No, I was going back to Accrington. So I go through my phone, who can I trust? Going, no. And then I came to my uncle. So I ring him again, the one who's been in a lot of trouble and what have you. Stone. So I ring him and I say, his nickname was Waff. I said, Waff, I said, I'm in trouble now. I said, I need some help. What's happened? I said, I've attacked someone. He said, how bad is it? I said, he's not getting up. He's like, fuck's sake, what do you need? I said, well, I know I'm going away, but I also knew what I was going to be doing. I need a parcel. And for those who don't know, a parcel is a bundle of drugs shoved up your arse. So when you go in jail, and when you go in, especially on your own, you've got nothing, you go in with drugs, you quickly build everything up. Your toiletries, your back aid, your food. But I'm also using, so I need, I want my own drugs as well. And I weren't addicted, like as in physically addicted, but I were hammering these drugs. Right, he says, get to mine. We'll sort everything out. So I leave my friend's house, go up to the train station. I've got this grey tracksuit that's red. In my mind, even though I was calm, I was normal. It's like I was normal, You can imagine the state I were in. So I see a train pull in, so I run over this Aldi car park, jump over the fence, get onto the train. There was nobody on it. It was dead. And I sat down, and I don't even know where they all come from. And as soon as I sat down, all the screaming, the guns at me, it was like, shit, where all these people come from? So what had happened is one of the neighbours had rung the police saying, I think someone's getting hurt. There's a lot of screaming. So there's that. My uncle had spoke with my dad and said, what do I do? And my dad said, we need to get him lifted because he's not going to
get in more trouble.
He's not going to stop, or he's going to end up dead, but he ain't going to stop. We have to get him picked up. But I can't do it. My dad's saying, I can't, I'm his son. So my uncle said, I'll do it. So he done. So my uncle explained it. They'd put two and two together. And while I was on the way to the train station, he rung me back, where are you? I said, I'm just near the train station. I'll let you know when I'm on it. So obviously, dinged with police. But that was a good thing because the police got to the flat, they broke the door down, and he was seconds.
Saved his life.
He was seconds. I've spoke with him since. That's been hard. We've had brief conversations. I've tried to do this story of justice. So I got picked up that night, and that's where I got the IPP. But the big reason I got the IPP was because I were openly saying, this is what I'm going to do. And I'm showing violence, So I deserved it. I deserved what, a lot of people don't deserve the IPP. Most people don't deserve it. But I did. I did because I needed to be locked up.
10 year.
Yeah.
Been out 6 year.
Coming on 6 year now, yeah.
How did you get your first job, in brief?
Just walked in.
You knocked on doors?
I walk into and it's weird, we'll go on to this, but I didn't have any problem getting a job. It's like role reversal that we'll go on to later. But I was just walking into places. Have you got a job? No. Okay, I'm going on to industrial estates next one. Is there any work? No. Okay. Done an application? I said, yeah, but I think I'm coming back next week. And that's what I do. I just keep going in places till they go, yeah.
I'm going to fast forward you now. Are you fit? Are you fit? No.
However, I've been riding 5-6 miles to work. I'm riding that back after a shift, but I'm not fit.
Tell me about fighting. Not fighting people. Tell me about a boxing match.
Right, so I've always loved boxing, and I'm thinking, well, I want to try it. I want to see, I'm a bit old, but I want to see. It's a different, boxing is different to street fighting.
How long ago was this fight?
Oh, about 6, 7 months ago, this one.
6, 7 months.
The first boxing one, yeah.
How do you go about getting yourself a boxing match?
I'd seen someone on YouTube who were doing and it's someone we both know. He'd partnered up with someone, and then this person left him and set his own promotion. So I just emailed him, but they're all over. So you just contact them.
So you're having a boxing match. You're not fit.
I didn't train.
You didn't train.
No.
Who did you end up fighting?
So they give me I need to give the full thing here. So they give me this opponent, and I'd watched a couple of his videos on YouTube. A lot smaller, stocky, a lot smaller. And his way of running, make the, tussle with him, a brawler. And I thought, punch his head off. So my thought was to train, but after I've been at work and just things, just whatever going on in my life, I just didn't train. Go on.
What? No, you're going into a boxing match. Your first.
So we get there. I get there at 1 o'clock. I get ready, get my hands wrapped, I get changed. I'm pacing. 4.5 hours. He turns up. We didn't think he's coming. So by this time, I'm thinking,
people watching?
Oh, yeah, there were loads. But it had changed. The venue had changed. So the place it changed to were even smaller, so it was packed. He come in 10 minutes before our fight, and I'm angry now. I thought I don't. So anyway, we get ready, we start. First thing he does, low blow. And it was a good one. So I'm like, fucking hell. So he's like, sorry. So lad ref me like, take your 5 minutes. And I'm like, no, I don't want it. I want to fight him. So we had a bit of a brawl. And we're in the middle.
Did you get any in?
Right. A few. So we've come in and I've like covered myself to go down because he's throwing an up. So I come down. But as I come down, I see that uppercut. I can't even move quick enough. So I'm trying to turn myself. And I've never been hit that hard in my life. He hit me, spun me, and I'm down. So in my head, I've got my cousin saying to me, take the 10 seconds, take your count and get up. Don't just jump up. So I get to my knee, see the gum shield. This woman's outside of me. She's like, you all right? I'm like, yeah, got my gum shield. I said, I'm good, let's go. She's like, love. It's over. This woman was in the ring. She's helping me. I'd been knocked sport clean. The lad I fought, only after when he come with his family, travelling boy, 3 times East Midlands champion, undefeated. He's now in Poland fighting on this Gromber. This kid is a monster. And I went in there,
Nice one.
And it's never happened. It's not me confidence.
Are you going to do it again?
I don't know. Because I went up to do bare knuckle then. Because that's becoming quite big. But there were just something telling me, no, don't. Luckily I did, because I've spoke with probation after things that went on that event. But probation had said, we don't know if, boxing is all right. You got your gloves, you got your bare knuckle is still they still think it's like an underground thing. It's not. It's legal, it's licensed. So I'm glad I didn't do it, because I might not have been sat here. They might have been like,
put you back inside.
Possibly, yeah. They're worries, but they're also worried about, and I get it. When I did the boxing one and I quit, and he were like, this was another probation officer, like, I'm not sure. And I'm saying, look, it's legal. It's like, but you're known for violence. You're not just the average person. You've got issues. Or I had issues. But they couldn't stop it. But I think they were, especially with the bare knuckle, is how far is it going to go out of hand? Am I going to seriously hurt somebody?
Are you going to get hurt?
Am I going to get hurt? So the bare knuckle, I've just swerved that. The boxing, I don't know, because I wanted to do it. I needed to try it. It's a different ball game. Next time I need to train. If I'm going to do it, I've got to train, not be stupid. But I got humbled. I got taught a lesson that day. And I've made a cracking friend as well.
Same lad.
Awesome man. Brilliant, and I root for him. I really do. And I'm saying, if he trained, because he don't really train, I don't know, he's training at minute for this one in Poland. I'm saying, if you train, quite privileged to be knocked out by him.
So, where does Sean go from here?
I don't know.
good at doing disappearing acts?
Yeah.
Are you not?
Yeah.
Will you be doing a disappearing act? Are you going to try and
things
keep yourself grounded?
Yeah, I think the way things were going, you know, and obviously the people who have watched all the other episodes, I'm not with my partner now. And that's been really hard. For both. Because we haven't split up on animosity, hatred. Neither of us have done anything wrong. No cheating, there's no domestic violence. We want two different things in life. And the one thing
What do you want?
I want my own kid. Like Rosie, when she got pregnant, it was like the best thing that ever happened. Then there was Kirsty after her, and that, you know, and that's been my thing for quite a long time. And that was one of my things when I was in. We've got to produce. You know, it was like, I've got to have something in life. So I want a kid. So when me and Emma were first talking, and I said, this is, you know, I've been away all these years. I'm 32, 31, 32. I don't want to be old and have a kid that when they're teenagers, I can't play football or, you know, do stuff men and sons do. And it was something that possible, but then as time's gone on, it's not what she wants. So, and I was starting to resent her a little bit. And I'm not, you know, we spoke and I weren't the same Sean, you know, because my moods were changing. I was going to work, coming home tired, thinking, and she'll watch this because she knows we're doing it. And she's an amazing woman. She is. But I was coming home thinking, is this it? I'm never going to have my own. I'm not.
You touched on something there that, so life, when you're working in that, it is tiring.
Yeah.
Is it not? If any sort, you don't have to be manual labour or whatever. It's tiring.
Yeah.
And it is difficult sometimes to pick yourself up, do things.
Yeah.
Especially now, I think a lot of people now just live the life around paying the bills and surviving.
Yeah.
Which in itself is not the best, is it?
No. But it's like, I'm trying to explain to some people sometimes that I wasted I think in 18 years, I did 16 and a half of them in prison from 18. Wasted a big chunk that most people should be doing. Like, I don't drink. I ain't drunk for 5.5 years because I know I start drinking and that's when that old me comes out.
Are you over drugs now as well?
Yes. Apart from the weed. But I'm not going to stop that. You know, I don't smoke it during the day. It's just night time. I have a couple of joints. Don't hammer it. It's just my little chill. But I wasted this chunk, so I want all these normal things that people have already got. You know, if they've got a kid or there's a lot I've missed out on. And all I wanted went before I got out, you know, because I never believed I was going home. Because I got this 99-year sentence and the judge said, don't expect to be released. And I didn't do no offending behaviour courses, and I'd like to come on to that at some point. But I didn't sit in a classroom and do an offending behaviour course. I had outside charges for violence, but then things started to change when Mr. Goodridge come in my life, and I started to have some belief. I think, you know what, I want to be a family man. I know how to be a good dad. I've got a lot to offer. I just want to be normal. I want to go to work, come home to a family, do things that people take for granted. And that's still been in my head. So even through this relationship, that was still in my head. I want my own kid. I can't, and she doesn't. So as hard as it was, we have to separate.
So if you met a woman, fell in love, she was the one, then she couldn't have children.
Yeah. Then you can work around that. There's always ways in there, whether it's adoption, whether it's and that again, I wouldn't mind because it's what two people want. Are you with me?
Yeah.
But I couldn't get into a relationship. Like Emma had said at the start, I do not want kids. Full stop. That's it. We wouldn't have took it further. Because I know what I want. And selfish as it sounds, there's nothing that can beat what I want. Does that make? I'm trying to explain it. I don't know how to explain it.
No.
That's what I want. want to be a dad.
It's finding contentment, which a lot of people struggle with.
Yeah, and it weren't easy in the relationship because Archie's not being. You can edit that out. The name.
Yeah.
But Emma's lad, not, you know, it was difficult because I'd not long been out of prison from this big sentence. And then I'm in this little family and then become the dad because that's what I were. I was providing. I were, you know, I took that role on. Maybe it was a bit quick, me getting out and doing that. But it's not the same. It's not, you know, having a stepchild. I mean, of course, it could if they were a baby, but with him already being 9.
Lots of people take that on, though, don't they?
Yeah, and I did. And I was still happy with that. I love that boy to bits. Like, anytime, he can ring me anytime he wants and I'll be there for him.
Well, I've said, and you know, anyone who takes people on, you know, has an input in someone's life or whatever, you know, whether maternal parents or not, then, you know, that's an important thing to do.
You know, and that were hard. But like I say, I started, you know, I was becoming really unhappy and other things in the relationship start, you know, and I don't want to put that on the camera, but things that there was couples would, you know, things were changing and neither was, you know, I think we were both becoming miserable.
Let's leave that one there and we'll get on to talking about your sentence, good people. IPP prison sentence. In brief, explain what it is.
So IPP stands for Indeterminate for Public Protection. It's 99 years. You do not get released until deemed fit and you jump through all these hoops. You were brought in, obviously, for serious offending. So serious violence and sex offenders. And I know when I went to do my pre-sentence report, the probation said you have 10 points. There's 10 things that have to take to get this IPP. Obviously, I got it and I knew it, but they would then start getting people who were car thieves, twat,
taking a mobile phone,
theft,
pincing a push bike.
Yeah, so there's all these
non-violent street robbery.
Yeah,
in other words, low risk, low risk crime.
Yeah,
low tariff, under 3 years.
Yeah,
people been away for 13, 15,
longer,
20 years now.
So I know America had it, they scrapped it, we brought it in. It wasn't, nobody knew, you know, we spoke about this earlier, that when Blunkett came out and said, biggest mistake in my political career.
Labour MP?
Yeah, the biggest mistake I made in my career was the IPP, because he brought it in. They were just giving it for stupid things and people are still in.
Right, for me, if it was used what it was designed for, people who commit acts of terror, violence and, you know, the worst things to kids and women, and super violent individuals, about managing risk, then all good.
Brilliant.
But judges started handing it out like sweets, did they not?
Yeah. And so how I got out, so I were different, and I don't know, just a lot of you viewers will have heard you to mention this on one of your previous videos. So I think I was the one. Well, I'm hoping so.
Yeah, you are.
I hope it weren't my ego think he's talking about me.
No.
So I didn't, like I said, I didn't sit in the classroom and do any offending behaviour.
You got a 10-year, didn't you?
Yeah.
And you got out at your first parole.
Yeah. So I'd been, like I said, I got another violent charge while I was in, an outside charge. And then I started to work on myself. There were a lad when I first got it called Wayne.
I don't want to interrupt you. I'm sure you said when you went in, your probation said to you, don't change.
No, it weren't probation. I'll explain who this is.
Right.
So I got it, and the day after I got it, I'm like, you know, nothing's happened. I'm thinking I'm going to have this parole on this day. The SO, Mr. Whittle, an amazing man, he's passed on. And I were a lot bigger than what I am now. So he used to shout, I were a cleaner and on surgery, fat lad, proper Wigan accent. So he showed me, he's going, fat lad, come here. You can't do that now because of PC and to be people complaining.
Yeah.
So I go down and he's like, what happened yesterday? So I told him, he's like, so when I said, well, I got this parole date, and he's like, look, and he pulled up my record on computer.
99 years.
Sentence 99 years. Oh, like, shit. So I came out and there were a lad, Wayne, family friend, done a lot of jail, a lot older than me. He was in his 40s then. He's pulled me in his cell. Because I think the staff had said, have a word, see if you. He's like, so we're talking and all that. And he says, I want to give you some advice. What's that? He said, be who you are. What do you mean? He said,
Was this another con?
yeah, this is Wayne. Done a long time in jail, you know. And he's saying, carry on how you've been outside. And I said, why? He said, because people are coming in, keeping their head down, doing every course, come for parole, they don't get it. The reason they don't get it, they're violent. You're a violent man outside. So if you come in and keep your head down and you do nothing, they're going to be like, he's pulling the wool. Do you know? He said, so be who you are. If you end up changing, great. But if not, and that's what I did. So for the first 6 years, I was like, do you know?
If it's on, it's on.
I'm never going home. Well, I didn't believe I was going home, so I didn't care. And then when Mr. Goodridge come into my life, it all changed. Now, I did do a lot of one-to-one work. I don't want people to think, oh, he did nothing and just got out. The one-to-one was probably more intense than in a classroom. And it were hard. Them 3.5, 4 years were hard at looking at who I was. And that's why a lot of people are in now, because they keep their head down. They do all these courses, but the pro board are not seeing the real person, because they're like, well, you're like this outside, but when you're in prison, you're doing this.
I just spoke with a lad now who's IPP, and the advice he gave was to do everything. We did talk about it, but he said,
Yeah.
I would say, do everything you can, do all the coursework, everything you can, everything you can.
Mm-hmm.
And I went, hold on a minute. No. At point and fact, there was a lad, he got 2.5 years, he had a file, most courses 2 or 3 times he'd done. If there were a course spare, a place on a course, he'd done them over and over again.
Yeah.
Not a chance. He did 9 years him.
Yeah.
Model prisoner, enhanced prisoner, cleaner everywhere he went.
So they think you're manipulating them because you're not being who you actually are. You have to be who you are. But you have to be like that anyway, because if I'd have gone in and done everything, done all these courses, didn't get in trouble, I might have got out, but I wouldn't have changed who I was. No. I wouldn't have had to dig deep and really look inside. We're all different, and I'm probably the only one who's done it differently. But it still worked. It still meant I changed. I had to look inside, because I can go in a classroom, and that's what the parole board see. They see it, that anyone can go in a classroom, sit there, not speak, toss the hour and a half away, come back the next day, do that for a couple of weeks and get a certificate. Parole board, they're not interested in them courses.
I'm not.
They want to see actual change, proof that Sean came in, he still where he was, I was using drugs, I was drinking, committing violence, just doing who I was, and then, oh shit, look at where he starts changing there. Why did that shit? And they see it. You need to evidence who you are and not do what everyone says. Do all these courses and keep your head down. No. If you want to change, you have to show people who you are, whether it's good or bad. You can't change until someone says, we need to work on this. Are you with me?
Yeah, I'm completely with you.
So, and that's, but, and I don't want to, I'm going to be careful what I say. I don't want to say anything that gets me in trouble with probation. The biggest reason that this is taking its time, because I know they've said to me, I'll receive a letter. I've been out so many years. I'll just get a letter and that's
not
it.
Not in trouble.
No.
You'll have no supervision or anything. No. You'll be done.
Yeah. Just get a letter and that's it. Reason they're dragging it is these 2,000 plus that are in jail that have been in for 15, 20 years.
Not seen the light of day.
Who only got a 2-year
tariff.
They're going to have a lot of mental health problems. There's going to be a lot of...
They're keeping people in because
they're frightened of releasing them.
They're letting them out
with nothing.
A lot of them have spent time segregation, solitary.
Yeah.
I know a few people who got out because they've ended up being sectioned and they've got out via hospital.
Yeah.
Which is way easier. I'm not saying it's easier than prison. But it's coming to a head now, isn't it? People have been lobbying and campaigning.
Well, it's out there now. They've kept it quiet. You know, people have been lobbying for years, but they've been able to suppress it, keep it down. They can't do it now. So now they go 2,000 people, just say half, and that's probably being good. Half of them have got serious mental health problems, not through their own fault. Yeah, their own fault because they're in prison, but because of the surroundings. And then all of a sudden, they're going to release them all with nothing.
And, you know, you're in court, you hear 2.5 years, you get to prison, it says 99 years. 10, 15, 20 years later, you're still inside.
And you give up hope.
Robbing a mobile phone or a push bike.
Yeah, and you give up hope.
Bearing in mind that there's people now walking away from court, not receiving prison sentences, who are the worst of the worst. And you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because prisons are full.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sickening.
It is. It is. So, and that's how I got out, just being real. And like I said, them 3.5 years were horrible because the probation officer, my inside probation, she weren't letting me go anywhere. She would challenge. We'd sit there and it was challenge. You know, this is how you are. This is what, and it's horrible. It's horrible for people to tell you the bad things about yourself. You know, and then when you do start looking, and I was looking in the mirror and just thinking, who am I? Who am I? And this is genuine. I still don't know who I am. And that's weird at 39 to think.
Because, you know, you're a young lad, well-mannered, brought up to respect people.
Yeah.
Life-changing event. You won't be first and you won't be the last, sadly. And suddenly, you know, you're out there, you're doing drugs, you're violent. It probably, you know, wasn't who you were meant to be.
That's not who I am. You know, who I am now, and it's who I've always been. But I had these issues that just made me tick a certain way. But again, on that IPP, and what people don't realise is, as much as I say I deserved it, and I did my tariff and got out, it's still been hard. Now I'm back in my old area. See, I came out, I was here a few months, and then I was off. So I haven't been in my old area. I've been away from a lot of my family. So now I've come back. It's so hard to know, where do I fit in? Even though I'm an uncle,
saying this other day,
I'm a great uncle, because they've had kids, so I'm a great uncle.
You feel like you don't belong.
I've struggled these last.
You feel like you don't belong.
Yeah, that I don't. Not that I don't belong, but like, and all the family that I'm around, like you've just met my brother-in-law, my sister. If it weren't for them these last 4 months, I don't know, you know, where my mindset was. It really helped me. As you know, my brother-in-law, the job he does, so he can spot something. He's not afraid to challenge a behaviour but they've helped me so much. And it feels like
credit where credit's due.
Yeah. Amazing. The support. Do you know, my nephews, they all, you know, they've all took me in and I'm accepted, but it's like I've struggled it within myself of not used to having all these people around me. I'm not used to people wanting to help. You know, it's hard.
I'm going to leave it there.
Yeah.
That's positive.
Yeah, it is.
What I'm going to do, I'm going to put it on your toes, this. So come Christmas, I want to sit down here, rain or shine, and give a 6-month update of where you are. Now, the reason I'm putting it on your toes is because you've got a habit of taking off out here with your tent, not answering your phone, not answering messages, not speaking. Yeah, it is beautiful, but not speaking to people. Sean,
thank you very much. I appreciate it. And thanks for having me back.
Christmas.
Yeah.
On your
real forage podcast. Real people, real stories. Real forage podcast. Real people, real stories.